I think the weirdest question I've ever received in job interviews is, if you were an animal, which one would you be?
Hello there, this is Millennials Abroad, our requested opinions. Stay tuned for more our requested opinions.
Hi everyone!
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome
for a new
back!
episode of
Millennials Abroad!
our requested opinions.
Alright,
Alright.
so today we'll talk about job interviews.
Yeah, about our experience.
Our experiences, yes, with job interviews.
Yeah, or rather about awkward
experiences. Yes.
with job interviews. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there are many to talk about.
For sure. I feel like it's always a hot topic, kind of, right? Because there's always a lot to say. Because,
Yeah, these things happen. I mean, for sure they happen to you at least once in your lifetime if you ever applied for a job.
For sure.
So you will know what we are talking about, and actually if you want to share some of your experiences,
Yeah, please do that.
yeah, we're here to listen to you. We understand.
Yes.
We
Yes.
understand. So yeah, where to start?
Do you want to start?
Yeah, because while we were brainstorming, we talked about mainly interviews that we had here
Yes.
in the Netherlands. But I also have one I had in Italy, which was really weird. So I will start with this Italian adventure, and then we can come back to the Netherlands maybe.
Yeah.
The premise is that I was really young, kind of, when I did this interview. So most probably, if something like that would have happened to me now, I would have given really different answers to this person.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, you're a bit more naive, and you think like, especially in Italy, I think when you go and look for a job, if it's like you kind of need to beg to have the job, or like do whatever they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you just reply to questions. So I was living in this other town in my region, not my hometown, and I needed a job. So I went to apply to those stores that sell underwear and bikinis in the summer and tights. It's a really famous brand. I'm not going to say the name.
It's a really famous Italian brand, yes.
There are several shops also abroad, even here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And the person managing the shop was, it was a she. She was a little bit weird, the way she was approaching people. But apart from that, she started asking me really personal questions, like if I had a boyfriend, if I wanted to have children with this person, if I was using protection while having sex with this person, because she didn't want to hire someone that was thinking even about having children and stuff like that. She went really personal, and I kind of tried to say, yeah, I'm really careful with the things I do, but I was so awkward, and most probably if it happened now, I would have just told her, fuck you, and reported her. But I was really naive, and I think I didn't have the tools really to reply to her.
Yeah.
But I felt really happy after a couple of weeks, because I saw that another girl who had a similar experience with this person, she was even asked, like, what's your zodiac sign? Like, this should have an influence on the hiring process,
Jesus.
And this person, she wrote a letter to the local newspaper talking about her experience.
Nice.
And really saying the name of the spot.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck this girl. She was a genius. I should have done the same.
Well, don't blame yourself, because honestly, it's really not your fault. I mean, it's pretty clear that this person was I don't know. I don't even know how to call her, honestly.
Yeah, she was, first of all, taking advantage of her position. And secondly, I think she had some problems, because, I mean, why would you ask those questions?
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I mean, even if it's a big company, the company policy, I don't think, is to ask these questions. So it was really something like her own doing. And yeah, she just kept on doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
really,
no,
like,
it's terrible. It's really, really terrible. I feel like in Italy there is still, unfortunately, 2024, there is still some kind of, let's say, interest in your personal life when you do job interviews, if you're a woman. Because I heard a lot of women saying that they felt like they had to explain during these job interviews. They had to explain, oh, I'm planning on, building a family, or I do not plan on having a family ever. Because they still do that, and it's terrible.
No, I mean, I don't ask these questions even to friends, because these are really hot and personal topics.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really weird. I felt really weird about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't hired, I must say. Another girl was hired, and I was curious to know what she replied, or what she was asked, and how she replied. Like, but then I thought, no, actually, this is not this toxic environment. No, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't want to work there.
Yeah, I think it's better this way, right? It's better that they did not hire you, because cause usually job interviews are kind of a presentation. You kind of is an kind of an initial presentation idea that you get of what you're getting yourself into, right? So, and if that's the presentation, I don't want to know how's the rest, So it's probably, I'm pretty sure it's good that they did not hire you.
Yeah. Well, let's come to the Netherlands maybe and see what was the experience here.
So I think the weirdest question I've ever received in job interviews is, if you were an animal, which one would you be? I mean, who asks that?
Yeah, I feel like, those kind of tricky psychological questions they ask you, like,
it is.
If you want to work for Homeland Security or stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, but well, in that case, then you would feel like, I should say I'm a lion, not a rabbit. But still,
I don't know.
What's the point?
Exactly, because no matter what you reply, it could be the wrong answer for the other person, and that goes for every kind of questions during interviews. I feel like, right? Because everybody has their own angle when asking questions, and they come to the interview, whether they're interviewing or being interviewed. They come to the interview with a specific kind of assumption, or not even assumption, like
you mean a formed idea,
more like requests or things that they're looking for, like
for someone.
From someone, So no matter the answer, that it could be wrong to the other person, because maybe they were thinking about something else, as a correct answer. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be, but it's probably just me trying to find a justification for this really stupid and weird question. I think it was pretty common to ask these kind of questions in the past, like many, 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 many years ago. I think I read this somewhere, but again, I might be wrong, and even if I'm correct, what kind of question is that? I mean, honestly, I didn't know what to answer. I don't know what I answered. I don't remember. But I laughed.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like something you would ask a kid during his birthday. 2 years.
I laughed. And the moment I realized that I was laughing at this question, I felt like, oh my god, I'm never going to get hired. Because
she's serious.
It was a woman. She might think that I'm basically, making fun of her and her questions, which
kind of was
the case, because I mean, what kind of question is that, honestly? So I laughed. I answered the question again. I don't remember what I said. I ended up being hired in the end, so maybe I gave the right answer. I have no idea, but it was really, really awkward.
Yeah, well, maybe tonight you will dream about it and maybe remember.
Oh god, no. I don't want to dream about that, no.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember any specific, like, weird weird question, at least here in the Netherlands. Because usually there are the usual questions, like, the one they always ask at interviews. But I had some awkward moments. I will go kind of a chronological order.
Oh, okay.
So let's say, well, this didn't really happen to me personally, but I remember the first job interview I had for a big company. I was supposed to go there with other people who applied and passed the first step. And we were supposed to take an exam.
Okay.
To check our English level and the level of our mother tongue, so Italian in my case. And I remember we were all sitting at this table, and we do the usual round of like, introduce yourself, talk a bit about yourself, why did you come here, why did you apply, and yeah, it was going fine. But at a certain point, they asked this question to this girl, who just kind of didn't understand the question.
Weird.
She couldn't reply. She just said like, yeah, and smiled. So
wow.
it was pretty clear that she lied about her English level in their resume. And after the morning break, she disappeared. So I think they sent her away, like they kindly invited her to go. And I mean, I understand that on one side, maybe you're desperate, you really want a job and you apply, but why would you do that if you know that you really need to have a certain understanding of the language?
I think if you're working in this country, most likely you're gonna spend the whole day speaking English. Of course you can.
Yes.
Yeah, of course you can be hired for your own native language, but still all the systems and everything will be in English. So you kind of have to assume, that you will use English a lot of the time, if not all the time. So yeah, that was not the smartest choice that this girl made. But I at the same time, I feel a bit sorry for her.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her. Because also the whole situation was really awkward.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like, oh my god, if I were at her place, I would be like sweating and feeling so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing to be embarrassed about, but if you don't speak English, but like she put herself in that situation, and it was really I felt bad for her.
Yeah, that must not be nice. Yeah. Anyway, so I applied for this job, and you know that a lot of the time you have to kind of have a pre-interview over the phone before like joining a formal interview online or in person. A pre-screening, process for sure. So I had this phone interview with this recruiter. He listed all the
perks, no?
all the like characteristics and everything, and he also mentioned that there was, on top of the monthly salary, there was bonus that people were getting almost every month, depending on some specific task that they were performing. So I was like, oh, this is great, like the starting salary was not bad. So I was thinking, right, so I can make even more money, with this bonus. Turns out it was not true.
Really nice.
Yeah, because in the end I was hired. And when after being hired and after a while speaking to my manager about this, and my manager's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, the recruiter told me, over the phone, this and that. And then in the end, it turns out that there was only one specific team in the company getting this bonus. I was not part of that team, guys. So no bonus for me.
Yeah, but I have the feeling that, it happened to me as well, like these people interviewing or like the recruiters.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have no idea what they are talking about.
Yeah.
Because they don't work for the company, they just recruit people. And sometimes you ask them about the policy and they're like, oh, I don't know, I need to check.
Yeah.
And they use the excuse of, oh, we have different offices all over the world, so I don't know the specific one for you.
Yeah, it can also be related to, I don't want to shit on recruiters. I don't think it's an easy job, to be honest. And I feel like their mistakes can be also related to the fact that maybe they hired a lot of for very different roles in the same company. So things are different, salary, benefits, bonuses, or everything can be different.
Yeah.
So they can get confused. So I do understand that, but at the same time, it's so nice being on the other end and of this conversation, and yes, going into a job with the specific assumption and then finding out that that's not true. It's not great, to
also
be honest.
Because when you accept a job, you take into account different characteristics of the job, and maybe this one had a weight in your decision for accepting this offer rather than another offer.
Yeah, for sure.
So they say some things really lightly without considering the fact that they can be a game changer.
Yeah.
That piece of information can be a game changer.
Yeah, I think they should be more mindful about giving this kind of information, because they should realize that this information can make a difference.
Yeah. And connecting again to this topic about receiving fallacious information from the recruiter. What happened to me not long ago. So basically, I applied for a part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a really big corporate company, and they were really looking for someone to start ASAP.
Yesterday.
Yeah, something like that. So the guy was like, "Yeah, because this is the salary, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Wow, are you sure about the amount you just told me?"
Mm.
Yes, this is the amount. And I told him, look, at my previous job, I was working basically full time, and I was earning way less, in spite of my position, because I was in a good position. So this is really good, of course, flexible job.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Then I did the job interview with the manager the same very day, because again they were really in a hurry.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, so the interview went really well, or good, or nice. And then I had a lot of questions to ask. So I asked a lot of questions. And
That's
then
good.
At the end, I also asked them, actually, I would like to double check with you about salary.
Right.
Just to be sure, And then the girl said, well, actually, the salary you were told is the salary we give for full-timers, not for part-timers. And I was like, wow, yeah, indeed, that sounded really weird to me. But I asked the guy 3 times over the phone, and he told me, yes, that's the salary. So what happened on a Monday, the guy contacts me, because of course I'm not working for the glory. So after I knew the real salary, I thought, no, thank you. Also because you weren't paid extra for working weekends
or overtime,
shifts.
Right?
Overtime, I think so, but they already told me you're not gonna do overtime.
Right.
And then the guy called me, and he was insisting, and he was saying, no, that is the total amount that you're gonna receive. But since you work, your first contract is gonna be for 6 months and not 1 year, you're gonna receive half. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna receive half of a full time.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the contract that you sent me, there is the amount of a part-time for the 6 months. So if you divide the 6 months for the amount you gave me, is half of the amount of a full-timer.
Where did they find this guy?
I think
Honestly,
this guy was trying to trick me
into
getting the job.
I think what happened there is that he didn't want to admit that he
screwed up.
It is screwed up, yes.
Honestly, I think that he knew, but he was trying to push
to have somebody
really
hired.
Needed someone. So I think what he thought was like, okay, let's convince this girl. She works here 1 month, and then we have 1 month extra to find someone else.
Oh yeah, that could
because
be.
Then I told him, look, I'm gonna think about it, and he treated me like I was the stupid one. And since I always doubt myself, I thought, okay, maybe I'm making a mistake. So I took a calculator, I did all the calculations, and I sent him an email with all the calculations showing him that he was bullshitting me.
Yeah.
And then, instead of replying to me, no, you're wrong, or, because I thought, of course, if you really need someone and this person is wrong, you just tell them, no, look, you're wrong, this is the actual amount, and you send me a contract with the actual amount, so I'm gonna sign for it. But he didn't even reply, no explanation. He just sent me those automatic emails saying, we're so sorry that you're not going to work with us. You want to give us a feedback? Of course, I'll have to feedback.
Yeah, good but that you did that, yeah.
I don't know who's gonna read it, but I mean, if it was someone who was paying less attention or who was just desperate to get the job.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's really not fair.
No, it's really bad. And also, I mean, to be honest, there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I gave you the incorrect information. There's really nothing wrong about it. Everybody makes mistakes. So I don't understand why this guy was so adamant about, no, I'm right. I mean, Jesus Christ. So something else that happened to me, it's not really connected to interviews per se, but more like an experience as a new starter in a company, okay? This is also in the Netherlands in a very big company, okay? Big, famous company. Anyway, I was hired as a temp together with other 10, 12 people. I think we were something like 15 in total, okay? We got hired for a specific project. They didn't give us any desks. So basically... Yeah, so basically we're talking pre-pandemic, right? So you go to the office every day, you work from the office every day. Old life, it seems like a lifetime ago. But still, so basically what happened is that the first week we were all together in a big meeting room because we were in training and the training was all together, blah, blah, blah. After the training, we were supposed to, start working, everybody in an open space, everybody at their own desk. We didn't have any desks. So basically what was happening was that we were trying to arrive in the office as soon as possible in the morning so that we could claim a desk.
So first comes, first served.
Exactly. And a lot of the time happened that as soon as someone went on a break, they would then come back and find that their stuff had been moved on the floor and somebody else was sitting on the desk.
Like in that TV show, The Office, with that.
Yes.
Something you would expect from that. Like,
it's honestly, it was so freaking awkward because we were temp, but at the same time, I would expect some respect, right?
No, they were thinking most probably about these fucking temps.
Exactly.
Fire desks.
That's exactly what they were thinking, because all of these people that were basically stealing our desks, because I cannot find another word for that. They were not temps, they were people working in that company for a certain amount of time. I don't know. I don't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was really bad. It was really bad because in the end, like, you come from your break, you find your stuff on the floor and someone else sitting on the desk. And most of them were not even like acknowledging the fact that you were back and your stuff was on the floor, right? Everything was fine and normal for them. So they were not even saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I had an urgent call, I needed the No, nothing, no excuse, nothing.
Like it was normal. Okay.
So you pick up your stuff and you go around trying to look for another desk, but the same thing might happen again when you go on your next break. I mean, honestly, it was terrible. It was horrible. And after several weeks of like this daily stupid stuff happening, we ended up being seated, everybody at one huge desk every day, because they just, basically they won. They won some whatever stupid game that they were playing. They won the game. So, well, whatever.
Also, these big companies with all the fucking money you have, guys, you cannot buy new desks.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, this wow.
I don't get it, but the office was brand new. It was so fancy and so nice, and I cannot believe you don't have space for.
Yeah, look, this is a fancy place for you to not
You're
use.
not allowed. Yeah, exactly.
For you to not use.
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
can look, imagine.
You can look, but you cannot touch it. Something maybe they should know is that we interviewed a lot of people together.
Together as well.
Yeah, we used to work together, and we used to hire people. We're not in the.
We were not recruiters.
No, we're not recruiters, but so there was. Yeah, there was an initial step with the recruiter, and then the interviews were done with us. I would say we did a lot of interviews together,
we
right?
did many. Actually, I liked doing them.
Yeah, me too. It was fun. I mean, we I think.
No, I didn't do that anymore.
No, I miss that, to be honest. I miss you in general. Well, anyway, we did a lot of interviews, and some were really nice.
Yes.
And the process is also nice because you've been on the other side of the table many times, right? Like being interviewed. So you kind of have a different approach. Of course, you're sitting on the other side again, but at the same time...
You feel a bit pitiful.
Yes, right? You feel like, oh, you know...
Yeah, let's not ask awkward questions.
Yeah.
Which animal would you be if you could choose? Like,
exactly, yeah. Like, put yourself in their shoes even more, maybe, because you've just... You've gone to into the same process already, right? So, and it can be very awkward. So, I feel like we did have some weird experiences, though, right?
Yeah, well, do you want to start or should I start?
Yeah, you can start, go ahead.
Well, this is in my top list. I still remember.
You have a top list, alright.
Yeah, but I need to make a premises, I
Go.
think. So, some years ago, I was already living in the Netherlands. I didn't use Facebook anymore. I didn't so much in the past as well. But I had it installed in my phone.
Yeah, you had the app. Yeah.
Yeah, so I received this message from this girl who was among my Facebook friends.
Okay.
But I didn't even remember who she was.
Right.
And but not because I was like feeling superior, you know. It's because you are just people that you met many years ago that you don't really remember because if you don't share anything.
Yeah, I have a lot of those on Facebook as well. Yeah.
And this person started asking me like, you remember once I was at one of your concerts because I used to play when I was living in Italy.
Yeah.
And I met you there only that time, but I remember you. Can you tell me about the Netherlands, how to find job? And since then, she started like writing to me obsessively. Like, basically, she wanted me to find her a job. She was asking, can I have this job even if I don't speak Dutch? Do you need to do this and that? This is in Dutch. Should you speak Dutch?
Okay.
And one day I just told her, look,
I'm not a recruiter.
Yeah, I understand that you really want to find a job. But first of all, if the description is in Dutch, most probably they require Dutch.
Yes.
So I don't apply.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm not a recruitment agency, and it's not that like when I write here, I just got the job like this.
Exactly.
I mean, I did what I had to do. If I could help you, I would. But I cannot. I'm really not a recruiter, so I don't know what to do. And then she started telling me things like, you're never gonna stop me. I'm gonna become someone in my life.
Oh my God.
Even without your help. And I was thinking...
Of course you are. Go girl.
Yeah, but maybe, it's not that if you move abroad and you find a job, you become someone. What the fuck does it mean?
No, nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it was like meaningless. And secondly, I don't give a shit. I mean, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, of course.
It's just because I don't have a job ready for you doesn't mean that I don't want you to work.
Yeah, but that's that. Yeah, it was a weird situation indeed.
So years later,
yes,
we had this interview.
Yes,
it was me, Angela, and this girl.
Yes.
And every time I was asking her something, she was really acid towards me.
Yeah, she was a bit. So I mean, we should say like the general vibe of the interview was not great.
Yeah.
No, I mean
normally
the vibe.
Easygoing, but
yes,
really...
we were easygoing. The vibe that we were getting, I should say, was not great, right? So she was replying to our questions. But yeah, it's true. When she was replying to Erika's questions, she was not really very
nice,
polite.
Yeah, and I remember after the interview, I told you, look, this girl was replying to me really badly, and you were like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's your impression, maybe it's how she behaves. You know, I thought, okay, and then I thought, out of curiosity, I was like, let me Google her name.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was the same girl.
Yeah. Yeah, so
and
Erika,
she hated me. That's why she treated me so badly.
Yeah, that's true. Erika then sent me this message saying, Angela, this girl is this person that this happened a while ago. So,
and so I was right.
I was right.
It was not my impression.
Yeah. So, you were right. Yes, indeed.
Right.
And it's good also because I was saying I'm not sure if that's your impression or not. So it's good that you kind of believed your instincts because you were right. Yeah,
I was right at the time. Yeah,
it was funny because of course, we laughed about it a lot, but at the same time, it was awkward.
Yeah, it was really awkward. Yeah,
it was really awkward.
So they come back. Don't worry, they will come back.
Yeah, they will come back. That's true. Yeah. Something else. I once did this interview, interviewed this girl. You were not with me in this interview. It was a while back, and this girl came to the interview. So basically, she applied for a position for her own native language, which was not Italian. It's another language. But she knew at the same time, she knew that the company was an international company and that she was supposed to speak English a lot of the time. She did not speak English. So she came to the interview. The person who invited her to the interview was not me because I was accompanying this other person. And this other person who invited her was a native speaker in her same language, so I think this girl was expecting to having an interview in French. Let's just say it was French, but actually when she realized that was not the case, we didn't know how to proceed in the interview because we were speaking English and she was replying with the very basic sentences, not making much sense. I think she was understanding probably half of what we were saying, and in the end we had to dismiss her. We had to stop the interview, and my colleague had to do that in French to make her understand, look,
we are looking for someone who speaks English.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry, but and on the same kind of, it's not the same subject, but I also, with this same colleague, I will remind her of this, it's funny. We interviewed someone else at some point, and this girl started sharing a lot of her personal life, of her love life, which made the situation very awkward, to be honest. And also I had the feeling, and I mean, looking at it, thinking about it now, I feel like I understand why that situation was happening. I think she was traumatized about this specific experience that she had, and I think she still was going through, the trauma and everything. So because she was mentioning this stuff repeatedly, and also they were not related to the questions we were asking, because we were not asking personal questions, to be honest. It's a job interview. I would not ask personal questions. So I feel like, thinking about it now, I think this person was she needed help to go through what she was going through, and I feel really bad. I felt even then really bad about her because she was sharing a lot of stuff that was really not nice, and I really hope she found the help that she needed. But in that specific moment, it was very difficult for us to proceed, and also we had to go through we kind of decided to go to the end. Through the end of the interview without even saying it to each other, because we realized we don't want to, stop this
Yeah, it would have affected her.
It would have affected her in a way, yes. So it was really an experience, yes, indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot.
We did, and I feel like
yeah, that's it for today.
That's it.
Because we have 2 minutes left in the camp.
Okay, cool.
So right on time, but
right on time.
Yeah, it was good to have this stroll on memory lane.
Yeah.
We're curious to know also what's your feedback on this. If you have similar experiences, if you want to share. Of course, you can do it by commenting on YouTube, if you're following us on YouTube, or through the streaming platform, or you can check our YouTube or check. Well, we have contacts. You can reach us, and we will put everything in the info box.
Yes.
So don't worry about that.
Reach out and share your experiences. I'm pretty sure there are. I'm curious to know more. Yeah.
And see you or talk to you next time then.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thank you. Ciao.